just for getting the top answer in 3 out of 5, that makes us winners, I think. Maybe?
I think you're right.
Also, from Artra, Annihilation. How is that cool, man? How is that cool? You just play spider walks with people.
I will say, I get it. Big purple aura, you get to go punch people in the face.
Zen go fast. Zen, immortal, run at people, very epic.
Yeah, but all you do is hit Q and then you spin around in a circle and...
But it looks cool, okay?
It does look cool.
You know what looks even cooler? The first match of the day here at EMEA. Sakura Esports, currently 0-3 in the standings, so the very bottom, just that relegation spot. They don't want to be there. They've got, what, 4 more matches, and this is one of them. China, Zoro, Hattori, Prota, and Strebor is your lineup, your starting lineup for today for the team. And of course, on the other side of things, Virtus.pro. I don't think we need to really talk about this team too much. This team is just ridiculous. Jwoo, just an absolute god on the Genji. Shockwave, insane hit scan player. Vestola, the man of many tanks. Fixit and Gala, just like solid rock support line. Like, this team looks very, very clean. Every single series you've seen them in so far, it looks like they have a perfect read and understanding of the meta. Although Rose saying that this is week 2, so the meta's changed. We're seeing a lot more Torb and more Sim. We're jumping up into Nepal as our first map with Lucio ban from VP and Sakura banning Diva.
Okay, so definitely taking a hero out of Vestola's pool when you look at that Diva ban. If you wanted to play a little bit faster, that is a hero that we've seen Vestola already pick up on. But then I wonder, does that open the door for Vestola to go play Zarya again, as we saw in Soravasa last weekend? Or do we actually see just more hazard from both of these teams? And so then how do the tanks fare in the hazard head-to-head? I think that would be so cool to see Hattori and Vestola go at it.
I mean, look, I'm not going to say anything until the doors actually open, like, at all about the comps, because they have been just so wacky recently. We saw yesterday, I mean, look, Twisted Minds were even like, hey, we can't play this comp right now. We don't fully grasp it. We want to counter the hazard, but let's just go back to something that we're more familiar with Quartz, like a hit scan. We'll see if VP and Sakura Esports do tend toward something they're more confident on. Looks like VP, though, hovering the Pharah, Shockwave TPing out, Pharah, and then Vestola on the Sigma, Fixer on Mercy. Okay, what is this comp? Pocket Pharah, Shockwave on Torb. Okay, and then China on the Venture, who's going to struggle in this map on that character, I feel.
Honestly, I feel like this is Virtus.pro taking something out of the handbook from Labda's playbook. You've got the Pharah that's going to be boosted up by this damage amp from the Mercy that's going to be able to deal some just nasty damage with these direct rockets. I think China is going to struggle, as you said. I think Zaro as well is just going to be forced to use so many of these defensive cooldowns, like the power slide, even to just get away.
Hello.
Like, oh, poor Prota also. You gotta watch your back.
Yeah, it's so tough. Jwoo is gonna basically rule the skies and only has to really worry about that railgun. If a body shot lands, there's almost no chance for an actual follow-up from the rest of the team. Maybe Prota can land some shots in, but Jwoo's gonna have the first ult online in just a moment. Nice rock, but 10% away from that barrage, and a nice little triple onto the bat in the corner. Yeah, this is time for a swap from Sakura. I think China, they go Tracer or they go another hit scan, because the Venture is good at dealing with front lines, it's good at dealing with squishy back lines, but Virtus.pro are not running any of those, and it looks like actually China happy to take the duel in the sky, going over to the Pharah.
A little bit of a different flavor for the backline, though. We don't have a Proto or Strebor switching over to the Mercy, but Pharah versus Pharah, if this is what the meta is going to give us, I'm so excited to be able to see this play out more with some of these aerial duels. But it's going to be difficult here for Sakura Esports to get in. I mean, Jwoo is just going to go ahead and launch the barrage as soon as Strebor turns his back, and you cannot break this point with the Torbjorn on it as well.
Well, there's the headshot you were after. Unfortunately, though, Mercy has the E key. If we did a kind of overviewed version of the easiest ability to use in the game, it would be that E key. No bias there at all. Virtus.pro, they've got two support ultimates, and they've also got that Molten Core and Holy Crosshair for fix the little love bar, which is kind of insane. That's actually a new game we could run. We can look at all the players' crosshairs that have interesting ones. That'd be.
I think you said this
quite good.
exactly when you saw Fixa's crosshair the last time we actually saw Fixa on.
Well, I'm just okay. Well, that's fair enough.
You've got the good ideas. We gotta actually.
I've got the
act
single
on them.
good idea, but it'll do for one for Zoro there through the window. Another double kill, in fact, but Jwoo unfortunately has forced out the lamp already. Pretty low, though. A lot of spam damage coming through that corridor. And Zoro finding 4 in this fight. Okay. Or 3 even.
It was the perfect angle there from Zoro. Notice that everybody on Virtus.pro was trying to duel out in that small room, and so he said, I guess I'm just gonna power slide and find an off angle on you. So the overclock deadly, gonna allow Sakura Esports to finally take control of this point. But Virtus.pro have already done such a good job. They have 82% last fight territory, and they're also making some really greedy swaps. We've got the Widowmaker here. Shockwave gets 1 pick. That's going to seal this round for them. Fix is also on the Alari off of the Mercy. Jaws, you got your wish.
Fix is my new
Alari's
favorite
meta.
player. All right, Gala's already dead. Used the window, the lamp came out, but unfortunately, Vestola ends up going down. That healing from the Alari, not quite enough to keep the tank alive. As soon as you use that full beam, you are pretty much done, unless that pylon is perma-healing people. So we'll see if VP managed to find a pick on this Widow. The Widow is so tough to use on this map. Not only is the Widow very squishy, very susceptible to someone like a Sojourn. Getting an angle on the point is very difficult, but it's actually China that goes down. Look at this flank. I mean, look, Fixer's not playing Mercy, but he's hard-pocketing Jwoo right now on the Farah. Both him and Fixer on the flank and forcing the lamp. Both supports incredibly low. Brota's gonna have to watch out. Vestola comes back in, rocks Strebel back to the Jurassic period, and Hattori also falls to a stray rocket, and now it's all falling apart. Fixer takes down Zoro, and the tag team duo, Jwoo and Fixer on the flank, might have just sealed this round.
I think it will. Fortunately, that Widowmaker not quite enough of a part of the equation, but we're gonna see Shockwave switch over to Symmetra to at least be able to get back to point. Hattori on the Wrecking Ball now just to be able to make it and trigger the overtime, but it's gonna be a scrappy fight here. A lot of new unique changes.
Yeah, Hattori going solo, was trying to look for a small little power drive there, but couldn't quite get it done. And here comes the Captive Sun. Not sure it's going to do all too much, sadly. Nope, swing and a miss there, but there was no real targets to actually land. You saw Hattori, by the way, Rose. You saw Hattori kind of like, okay, I'm going to go right-hand side, but Fixer had the presence of mind to basically just sit there on the Alari. Knowing the ball can come in, you can just outburst your shift to stop that momentum, and the ball can't do anything. And then he's just kind of sat there dangling or just kind of chilling on the floor. So nice stuff from Virtus.pro. We'll see if they want to run out with this again. Looks like maybe Gala on the Alari, which is actually something we saw last year Gala pick up every now and then.
Yeah, Gala was so impressive on the Alari, and I think something else that everybody has been touting this player for is just how much versatility they have in their hero lineup. And so I feel like being able to get Toniki's insight on Gala as a player and just being such a big backbone for this Virtus.pro roster makes me really excited to see if we see more Alari coming out of Gala, if we see any other different types of synergies between Gala and Fixa that allow us to see different supportive duos like this Baptiste and Alari that we're now going to see here. Jwoo off of the Farah, I think, does get a little bit more support from the Baptiste and the Alari.
Man, I actually had the trifecta, Rose. I had the trifecta, the Torb, and now the Alari as well over the last couple of days. I'm one happy guy.
What's the third one?
The Zen. We saw.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute. I feel like you're saying 2 out of 3.
Good pylon spot, or at least it was. Nice little pylon spot as well. It's just kind of in the rim of this building here. It's going to be fairly easy to take down, though, if people are on the point, but for poking, it's quite nice. Jwoo goes down on the Torb first. Sadly for Virtus.pro, looks like China's going to be able to lock down this entrance, too. The Alari's not going to get too much value off on this off angle, but Shockwave, using Gala as kind of a distraction tool, manages to pick off 2 already. And they have flipped the map on Sakura Esports right now, and Zoro's got nowhere to run. That's Shockwave for 3. And Vixer and Vestola are going to finish up the rest. VP with an encircling approach there on Sakura Esports, who didn't know where to look.
Yeah, Shockwave and Jwoo have just been setting up so many crossfire sections, whether you have Shockwave kind of taking a flank on Sakura or Jwoo being able to lock down a lot of these doors. Sakura are going to have a hard time being able to actually get to this point without taking too much poke. A lot of responsibility on Hitori's shoulders to make sure that that shield is going to do enough, because take a look at that. Hitori puts the shield forward, and then all of a sudden, Sakura getting hit from the right-hand side by Jwoo.
The Alari's so good in these poke styles as well. Shockwave ends up going down, though. A very aggressive window from Prota in main. Takes head of Shockwave off. Here comes the captive son, though, by Gala. Ends up, not sure if that connected onto China. Doesn't look like it did, but still grants them a kill. A big ultimate that can split teams. And the only real worry for the Alari in this comp is going to be that eat from the Sigma. And also the lamp, but if you're hitting the Baptiste, even though he's got lamp up, focus the lamp real quick, another couple of shots and you should be good. Jwoo is being quite the menace as well, Rose. Has got an ultimate online, and Virtus.pro, they're sitting pretty.
I mean, it's not just Jwoo. You've also got the Bob coming through from Shockwave, and so can hit him where it hurts on either angle. Make that Bob. 3 angles if you throw the Bob in there.
Yeah, the Bob got deployed on the Mega Health Pack. Zoro wanted to go for like a flank to maybe get a shot off on somebody, but it's really hard against this poke comp, which can look at 3 different kind of avenues. And Jwoo is, I mean, nothing has shot Jwoo for like under half health for the last like 10 minutes or so, it felt like.
And we're in the last fight. This could just be Virtus.pro taking 100-0 on this round. Strebber is going to hope that this orbital ray is going to help them close the distance in this fight, or at least Zoro can open things up, but oh no.
A little bit of an overkill there. Vistola looked like he wanted to flux the already dead Soldier. Jwoo's already killed 2. Flux connects onto Vestola. Tori finishes them off, but she's now all alone on the point versus the Pharah and the Alari. No chance as Fixer just clocks her with a right hand, and that will be Virtus.pro with a 2-0 on Control versus Sakura.
And Gala gets to play the Alari. You know what? I think I remember you saying yesterday, maybe Alari wouldn't necessarily be meta at any point in the future.
If you're running pure poke, Alari is nice to play. If you want to play slow with a Sigma, which is one of the best tanks for the Alari, you pop that pylon down in somewhere that's hard to shoot, and then you are just standing behind Sig Shield, left click, that nice sweet rhythm, getting headshot after headshot. You know, it's so nice to play, and you supplement so much of that damage, which is really helpful for an Ashe, is really helpful for a Pharah to end up getting and securing a kill. Don't think they're going to see a Alari ban. I'll be very surprised if we do see that from Sakura, but there is still potential there for Virtus.pro to bring it out. I think a lot of maps currently in the pool rows do aid for that more slow style if you still want to rock the Sig. What do you think Sakura want to kind of ban out here, and where do you think they want to go? Because this slow kind of comp with Jwoo on the Pharah and Virtus.pro in general, they look good. They look strong, powerful in the EMEA region right now.
It's hard because I think when you take a look at wanting to play the Sigma, you look at maps like Havana, maybe even taking a look at Numbani. You have so much of that high ground to be able to play around that it's very possible to run those heroes on that map. But then I actually don't know if I totally agree that you think about leaving the Alari untouched. Wonder if you target that, or you target the Pharah as one of the bans, so that you at least take a big piece of the poke comp out of Virtus.pro's ability to play.
Ooh, the 1 KD there, 32 deaths to 15. Pretty not surprising, really, especially with how kind of dominant that was. We expect Virtus.pro to walk away from this series at a 3-0. I think Sakura Esports, if they manage to make some of these maps close, or even manage to take one of the maps off of VP, I think that's going to be a massive win for them. They haven't had the easiest time, obviously, with the last few matches that they've had over the last couple of weeks, and they are still sitting in that relegation spot. Going 0-4 almost guarantees you that slot at the bottom, sadly. And I think these players, especially looking at their performances last year, especially players like Hitori, whose tank pool has been incredibly good, incredibly flexible, versatile as well. It will be a shame to see them knocked out of OWCS, and I still think they'd be near the top of the pack in the Face-It League. We'll have to wait and see where we look at bans, but Esperanca is actually going to be the pick for Sakura Esports, which is you can play poke with a Sigma, but I think with what Virtus.pro can run, Rose, they can just rock out with anything. Their confidence at an all-time high.
Absolutely. I mean, Virtus.pro are the big bads right now. They are the ones that beat Gen G. They swept the Ultimates, another team that we were expecting would actually put up a huge fight versus Virtus.pro. But it's going to be Virtus.pro possibly going undefeated in this stage. And so I agree with you. If Sakura can get a map or make things really competitive, I think they have a great shot of being able to head into relegation with a lot of confidence and maybe even surprise everybody and at least make sure that they are competitive out of getting out of relegation. Maybe they can win the next 3 matches or something like that. But Esperanca is weird because I do see it kind of going either way. Maybe you do run the Sigma. I think you can run Echo here really easily. So even if you do ban out the Pharah, just play Echo and Genji or Echo Tracer.
That's the thing too. It's hard to know what to expect, especially as the meta's still kind of shifting up. Holy Sakura voters, value voters in the chat. 95% to 5 for VP. Okay, we're just getting
that has to be switched, right?
In my ears, yeah. That should be flipped. It's 5% for Sakura. 95.
Not that I doubt Sakura's ability here. I just feel like Virtus.pro stocks have been rising, and so I feel like there's a bunch of Virtus.pro heads in the chat right now.
Rose, you made a really good point actually with their current stage. I think they have a very good opportunity to go lossless. They are 7-0, like straight up. They've already beaten Gen G. They've already beaten Ultimates. Twisted Minds is kind of next up there in terms of power level for teams, but they've not been on their finest form, especially with the shift in the meta. They're facing Sakura, then obviously Peps, Alcatia, and Team Vision are the teams they need to beat. So there's a possibility they can go 7-0. And Sakura are banning the Alari. This is the first time, obviously, we're seeing this because Alari's not a character that we ever really see. So first ban for Alari and EMEA. Okay. Sakura Esports going to take that one away and go on to Esperanca. Thought, you know what, Gala, you look too suave with it. There's a Symmetra ban here for Virtus.pro on the other side of things.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw this coming, right? Gala has been so good on the Alari. If Virtus.pro feel that confident that they can play a little off meta and use Alari to their advantage right now, then you know that the poke is going to be hindered a little bit. But that doesn't mean that Fixit and Gala can't just go play other heroes. So while you do limit the Alari, I don't know how much of a stopgap you actually put into this poke comp from Virtus.pro.
Look, the poke comp is good with the Alari, but you can still run the BAP and the Juno, just stock standard. Okay, we're still going to shoot it. Yeah, we got a whole lot of healing too. Hattori going to run out on the Ramatra. So Sakura Esports still opting to go for the Torb. Same with Jwoo. Another, again, Torb, very hard character to dive. The turret does a lot of the heavy lifting too if you put it on a nice little off angle. We'll see how this ends up going down because Vestola, probably the best Sigma in EU. Especially last year, and it's going to continue to be that, I think. And with this kind of slower style, I think VP are more than happy to put Shockwave on a very good hit scan too. It's the Ashe, he's just a superstar in all honesty, and that's a good pick. Gala taking out Strebor already, and now Hattori is going to get left on an island, and that island is just one molten rock now. Get a hammer kill. Okay, not quite.
No, Jwoo is all business right now, Jaws. All business, wants to make sure that this is a clean 3-0 victory for Virtus.pro. And you heard it from Taniki. This is a player still very young, a great import choice coming through from Korea, and a lot of eyes are on this player to make sure that he can really stand tall with the rest of the kind of elite Tracer and Genji players that exist in EMEA. I say that while he's on Torbjorn, but still, all business. You can you can get to the great parts of Torb later.
Oh, Rod goes a little bit wide. Go time for Hattori. It's hard with this Ramatra in this comp though. Or against this comp, sorry. You are taking so much damage on the approach, and if you don't have Nemesis form and the Lucio backing you up, there is a very small chance you survive if you stay around too long. They have stolen the bot away, though. Sakura Esports have managed to slip this one past Virtus.pro as VP were trying to rotate to their high ground. Shockwave also on an off angle right now, and this is going to be nice for him if he manages to get a kill, but it's actually Gala that comes up with the goods again. Window kill onto Hattori, and now Sakura are in trouble. They try and settle the score with a window of their own, As it looks like, unfortunately for China, he is on the wrong side of the fight as Jaewoo kills 2 on the top.
Yeah, the bot steal was a really good attempt there, but Virtus.pro are just so patient when it comes down to stealing it back away. And it just came down to the dueling amplification matrices from Proto and Gala. Now, when you look at the rest of the ultimates online for either team, it just feels like it's going to be an all-out brawl here. Virtus.pro likely want to throw everything that they can at this checkpoint just to ensure that they cap it, and we're actually just not going to see a contest. They get the checkpoint.
Perfect answer to the overclock. Jaewoo still takes a double shot though, and Shockwave cowering in the corner, clutching his pennies, hoping he'd survive. Good use of the Bob, and that was actually Zoro and Strebor speed boosting the Sojourn around as they go for Grand Theft Bot yet again. Let's see if Virtus.pro want to just push them. They've got Sound Barrier, they've got the Flux as well, and they have this high ground, but Hattori's got Annihilation, and she's walking up, forcing Virtus.pro back. Oh, it missed! Sound Barrier Zillins are coming out though, and the Annihilation for Hattori too! Hattori isolated from the rest of the team as Virtus.pro managed to take her down in her ultimate. This is going from bad to worse for Sakura.
I feel like having to give up that first checkpoint is so devastating, because if Sakura win that fight, things start to look a lot better. But now they lose that Annihilation, they also lose the Molten Core, and Zoro is fighting to try to get back that ultimate charge from the overclock that got used 2 fights ago. Virtus.pro, once again, unlock that checkpoint. They get to keep that bot rolling, Molten Core on their side. Strebor, though, I feel like can still play a good defensive game here. With this sound barrier available, you've got a great answer to something like the Molten Core. But you gotta stay alive if you're Sakura Esports, and I feel like Virtus.pro are still doing too good of a job finding angles for damage.
Oh, China's dead already. In theory here, Strebor does have a free sound barrier. Well, you might want to use it against the window of people going low. Well, there it is. Molten Core ends up coming out. Gala on an insanely aggressive off angle. Has to lamp himself, but here comes Jaewoo. Still no hammer kill for the bold Torbjorn, but we're all good. They're all pushing. It's all business here. Rose, I'm still waiting for the hammer kill. Come on, Jaewoo. You got to get him at some point. Or at least the differential on the Torb. Maybe. 100 meters plus for VP. Rose looking like a potential completion. No ults on either side, but Shockwave closing in on that bot.
Yeah, I think the Bob is going to come online just at the right time here for Virtus.pro to maybe close out this map. They still have 5 minutes and 20 seconds as well. And take a look at how quickly Vestola and Fixa are also starting to approach their ultimates. This could be a full cap, and Virtus.pro, that would be a statement.
Lamp already used, and there's the Bob in the backline. China not turning around quick enough as his bot-on-bot violence there as the Bob takes out the turret, and that's going to be full cap. Rose. There's the Flux to try and get the Flux 9, and, well, Virtus.pro just doing what we expected, just running it down and capping. This is VP at their truest, like, best strength we've ever seen the team in, and honestly, Rose, a 3-0 looking pretty likely here, as they would also be 3-0 in the standings too, going into next week.
And I think that just bodes even better for Virtus.pro to be able to continue this undefeated streak for the rest of this round robin stage. They got the 2 big dogs out of the way. And as you were talking about as well, I think like you look at maybe Twisted Minds, Team Peps, as another one of those teams that might be able to give them a little bit of grief. But the fact that they're winning this match as cleanly as they are does boost the confidence a little bit that Virtus.pro are going to get that 7-0 at the end of the stage.
Jaewoo looks good on the Torb. Look, he's got that Torb gene.
He looks good on everything.
He was, yeah, seriously. And landing consistent shots on the Torb is super nice. The chunk damage, especially if you just get like a random headshot, because a lot of it is just spam, right? You just dominate. Your BAP is going to follow up. Your Ash is going to follow up. Even the Spheres as well. It's a lot of poke damage, a lot of pressure. VP looking good. 2 deaths in that whole map. A 22.5 KD. Looking clean. Alari's not banned anymore, so maybe we see that going into the next game type. Of course, we can still play, we can't play push anymore, but we can still go to a hybrid / flashpoint or an escort. Where do you think Sakura stand their best chances of like getting a win or even just getting a nice round from VP?
I think if you are Sakura looking at the bans that you did, if you wanted to I feel like Alari is maybe even more powerful on an escort or a hybrid, and the fact that you ban that out already for push kind of says to me maybe we go to Suravasa just to be able to try to play a little bit faster. But it's a tough call here because I think Sakura can pick anything and Virtus.pro will probably still win.
It is a very daunting kind of time in the server. You're like, okay, VP top of the region, some of the best talent. Jaewoo, an unbelievable rookie coming from Korea. Like, is Sakura coming in? I don't think there's any delusions for them. And like, okay, there's a chance we can win this. If we just play our A game, we can maybe take some maps here. But I think for them going into the next couple of weeks, I think that's where they got to look at like, hey, we're getting better as a team. We're facing some of the best players in the region. We can take lessons we've learned here and then push them on to the next series, to the next series, to the next series, and then hopefully get a couple of map wins here and there. Of course, with the meta changing and kind of fluctuating right now, there's very big opportunities to upset teams. I think Twisted Minds have been the victim of that over the last couple of weeks. We'll see Twisted Minds a little bit later, obviously versus Peps, and I think that'll be a very good strength test for both squads. I still think TM, if they come in with the Soj, with a game plan of just protect Quartz and let him kill people, I think they stand a good shot of taking down Peps. We'll see if also Soon ends up playing too. That'll be also quite exciting.
That'd be so cool.
Getting back to this series, Eichenwalde has been chosen by Sakura Esports, and the bans are as follows. We're going to see a Pharah ban and then a Kiriko ban on the side of VP.
Okay. Pharah ban also makes sense here. I think Pharah is one of the DPS you could use in the poke comp on Eichenwalde, so just say, sorry, Jaewoo, gotta play something else. I could still just see the Torb though. Go Ashe, go Torb again. I feel like Virtus.pro looked very comfortable on that comp alongside something like the Sigma. And even if you can't play the Pharah, just play the Echo. There's some good options here. And Jaws, would you look at that? Gala, yep. Alari.
Gala on the Alari. Yep. And Sakura, if they run Ram, like, ideally you don't hit the Ram when he's in Nemesis form, when he's in, like, his ultimate annihilation. Like, you don't hit him then. You hit him when he's just kind of plain. He's just kind of shooting with staff. He's shooting the little wasps. And there's nothing really to kind of eat it. You know, obviously the Ram shield is kind of annoying, right? But if you just hit the back line, it's very easy for Jaewoo to follow up and just get the initial kill. The initial explosion. The Sunstruck. Little Widow here for Zoro. Just a quick peek with... I think he was expecting Strebor to use the grip there from Lifeweaver to grab him up, but I guess not. Small miscon. Nope. China running the sim. Okay, so Virtus.pro navigating around this. As long as Hattori doesn't get to the backline, they should be good.
Yeah, but look at how much damage they're already taking. Hattori peeks around the corner and instantly gets tapped by the Alari, the Ashe, and Zoro is already so low.
So good. Pylon's still up. They're still healing on the field, guys. I think that Pylon's above China right now. Zoro is 1 HP. China with another TP into the backline. Can't afford to get booped or killed. 40 HP, does manage to escape. And Zoro ends up going down to the beam. China extremely low on an island too. Like, you can get this mini pack, but Jaewoo read that perfectly. Hattori, though, on the other side of the map, without the addition of Jaewoo's damage, was able to take both Vixa and Vestola out of the fight.
Ooh, and it's still a bit of a massacre right now, but because Jaewoo is still alive, there's a good DPS that can come out. Hattori survives with like 5 HP until Gala comes back and saves the day in the defense. Hattori kind of smashed through everybody on the side of Virtus.pro because their attention was split.
Yeah, killed 4.
Sakura can do that again. Amazing.
Bit harder now, though, especially with Vestola on a hazard. Good luck taking down that if you are the Ram.
No, I'd be so worried if you were Proto or Strepper.
Insane wall. We'll see if they can actually make use of this one. Looks like Vestola's going to insert himself into this fight, trying to split up Sakura right now, but that beam just doing so much damage. Fully charged from China. There is a trade. Zoro down for Shockwave as the duplication comes in. Jaewoo doing a lot of damage to that previous fight, but such a quick duplication. And now Hattori suffering at the hands of a duplicated Ram. That annihilation, even with arms crossed, is just going to help Jaewoo get a free annihilation and rip and tear through Sakura Esports.
Oh, man. I wonder if Hattori actually switches now after the Ramatra annihilation got used. And there it is. It's going to be over to the D.Va. So D.Va gets a little bit better access here to Fixa and Gala. At least is able to maybe even try to get out something like the Immortality Field. But, ooh!
Looking for Captive Sun.
Sun.
Oh, does tag one. Where's the explosions? There's one. Throws it down. Shebel took a lot of damage from that as well. Good, smart swap up to the D.Va, knowing Captive Sun was going to come out. Fortunately, Gala weaved it past the Matrix. Still a pretty big projectile. It moves quicker. It did get buffed a few patches ago, where the size, although still eatable, it's a little bit easier to land. Very high impact ultimate. See Hattori still sticking on the D.Va, but with 60 seconds to go and only 42%, and 3 ults on the side of VP, just looking a little dire. That is an early orbital raid. Bob ends up getting deployed. Bob's just going to get owned. There's the sound barrier. Hits for Sakura Esports. Good for 2. Hattori takes down Fixer. Zoro, unfortunately, had to stand up to the test of Jwoo and Vestola. Vestola's still on the point, alive and well, but not for long, though. As soon as that spike guard ends up running out, looks like Sakura are just bum rushing them on the point. Decent beam damage from Jwoo, but can't land the final try shot. Somehow Strebor sneaks away with a kill, but Fixer comes back and gets the Tracer. Oh, sorry, gets the Lucio, as the point has been capped in OT.
Finally able to get the job done, but it took a lot of different hero switches and a lot of just power to be able to get that first objective unlocked. Now you have the payload. Zoro gets to set up with this overclock and is instantly taking a look at the high ground to see if you see something like the Echo or even just that Hazard be able to peek its head. With Hattori having the bomb as well, should be a nice way to at least be able to break through these castle doors, but then the going starts to get really tough. Jwoo has another duplicate that you could use to try to do the D.Va or even something like the Sojourn.
Joe's waiting on the sidelines too, waiting for Sakura to commit something so Jwoo can jump into the back line. Not revealing themselves either. Okay, there we go. Sticky bombs, as Strebor did see Jwoo and what the plan was. Here's the railgun. Overclock. Oh my damage. Okay, well, Zoro was alive for approximately 0.4 seconds before he was instantly killed by Gala. That is the power of Hazard, everybody. Self-destruct, and Hattori ends up falling in Pilot D.Va form. Captive Sun for Gala. Again, only really having to dodge Hattori with the Matrix. It looks like it's actually going to switch. So now Gala can just basically do whatever they want. They could just fire it into the back line, get one, and then Hazard jumps on, you instantly die.
Oh, but Hazard versus Hazard. Hattori, a Hazard player that has been having a lot of success in those first couple of matches. I know it hasn't resulted in an overall match win, but we were kind of excited to see whether or not Hattori and Vestola would actually go for that Hazard head-to-head. And we've finally approached that apex where Hattori switches over to that. China is also going to go onto the venture.
Oh, there's Captive Sun. Does connect. And there's the explosions. No initial kills, but Zoro goes down to the wall. 60 seconds to go. Once again, Sakura Esports struggling to get this payload past these doors. And Jwoo has got so much free space, Rose.
Jwoo has a ton of free space. It hasn't even had to use the duplicate yet. What is going to be hitting you in the skies? You can play around this wall so Zoro doesn't have great sight lines of you. Hattori's actually up there to see if maybe you can bully Jwoo away, but you'll make yourself an easier duplicate target for this Echo too.
All right, they can use that raid to get out of the doors. Here comes the downpour, though. Oh, no, when it locks down too. Good sound barrier, but will it actually be enough? Vestola takes a lot of damage there and actually force away that drill dash, pushing him up to those stairs, resulting in a kill. It is a big trade. 3-on-3 now. 2 supports versus 2 supports and a DPS on either side as well, but it is a Torbjorn after all, and an Alari. A nice couple of shots there from Shockwave, and they are not going to be able to stand up to the might of the Torbjorn. There's the Molten Core on the point, and Gala takes the final shot, hitting Strebor. It will be Hattori managing to get back, but Shockwave on the flank. Chops down Zoro like a tree with the axe. Another kill, perhaps? Oh, not even granted one. China denying the second hammer kill. But we've seen at least one today. Virtus.pro only going to let Sakura Esports get that first point.
It wasn't Jwoo that was able to deliver the hammer kill. But Shockwave is a man of the people, so thank you for that.
Perfect stuff. Shockwave. Perfection gameplay.
Oh, man.
Good look from Virtus.pro. Sakura Esports, though, the first time, well, they opened that up, first fight up, or first point up, sorry, with an orbital ray. They are able to pick someone off, that instant damage, you know, overclock or railgun, just anything to pop one person, and then they can just rush. Virtus.pro, it's hard to even fight into that, especially if you don't know they're kind of setting up for it. You've got an idea that the Juno has the ultimate, but as soon as it gets popped down, good luck standing up to a Sojourn or anything that can do very high impact damage. We'll have a look now if Sakura Esports can continue to do the same thing. They're not running the Juno this time around. They're actually going for the same kind of comp Virtus.pro are running. Proteus actually on the Alari, and then China on the Torb.
Okay, I mean, Alari seems to just be the flavor of the day when it comes down to maybe some of these more unconventional hero picks out of our teams. But it worked out so well for Virtus.pro on the defense, as you've been calling out some really great pylon placements, especially taking a look at where Proteus healing pylon is now. It allows you to play around the central pillar so well, and just make sure that you can actually strafe back and forth between both of those different chokes.
I love you can tell that I peaked on Alari. I love this character. It's very fun placing turrets in odd places. Looks like there's going to be a switch up though for VP. Okay, Fixer was thinking maybe we do a Pharah comp there, but it goes over to the BAP. So Gala on the Alari. Okay, Jwoo on the Echo. It's going to be tough. Zoro, there's a lot riding on Zoro right now to get shots in this fight. It's going to be hard. There's a lot of suppression from the Echo, although saying that, Jwoo switched over to the Torb now, so another quick swap. They're just going to mirror Sakura Esports.
And everybody on Sakura is so low. Hitori actually ends up taking a rock and now has to go around to the healing pylon. And oh, yeah.
Disgusting off angle here from the Torb and Fixer. All right, that should just be the first fight done and dusted. Pro to the last one left. Jwoo looking like he wanted to go for a hammer kill there. But Pro to down, point capped, and now it's their chance to push through those doors.
I'm telling you, Jwoo, all business until the third map, and maybe we get a chance to see him actually go for a hammer kill also. But Shockwave might not let that happen. Goes for the Widowmaker. If you get any single pick on the Widowmaker here, the match is over. And so Shockwave wants to seal this one pretty quick.
Oh, the Torb. Yeah, it takes the headshot, but... Oh, unlucky. Yep. Angry at himself for that one. Gala dead to Hitori. Fixer manages to kill Zoro, so a small trade. Fixer kills another. And Vestola kills one, and we're on Shockwave POV, but for him, looks like he doesn't have to do too much. Fixer is just destroying on the BAP. Window from the high ground, and Rose wasn't too much of a fight, sadly. It looks like Zoro's going to come back on the Tracer. A headshot from Shockwave eventually, but there's the map and set. Virtus.pro with a 3-0, and now 3-0 in the standings in EMEA.
Virtus.pro made that look like another day in the office. We got a chance to see some really exciting picks come out of this roster. Maybe we get to see more Alari as the weeks go on. So thank you, Gala, for such a fun hero to watch. And Zoe, is there anything that's going to be able to stop this Virtus.pro roster? Because I feel like the answer to that is just a resounding no.
Yeah, that's a no for me. I'm not investing in this product.
And she is.
Yeah, no, it's. Oh, perfect.
We cannot.
I'm saying so many smart things, and I'm muting myself.
Okay, now
I was eating. I didn't want to, chime in with the nums. Yeah. It's a no for me, is what I'm saying. VP looking absolutely unstoppable. Also, so comfortable on some more wonky picks, really. And this is so funny to me because Jaws, literally at the end of the show yesterday, you talked about how you definitely won't be seeing an Iliari. You're not going to get your trifecta. Maybe they were listening. They were like, don't worry, we got you. We got you. And they didn't like this. It wasn't just played once. In fact, it worked so well that it prompted a ban on Esperanca. So, there's a usage case to be made. I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange because week one is like, okay, it's a fast meta. We want to go Juno Lucio, Kiriko Lucio, like some sort of speed comp with Hazard. We want to run at you, Sojourn, Genji, Tracer, like all these crazy, like fast heroes. We want to get in your backline, use blades, use pulse bombs to kill people. And then we come into week two, and then Korea are running like Ball, Sim, and then, yes, the Sim virus, the Torb virus has hit EMEA. This is a classic, like, even going back to very, very old Overwatch 2 and even other esports as well. Korea starts playing something, and then it goes to EMEA, and then eventually
Funny
it's
how that
NA.
works.
Like that's just how it's worked over metas across games and in Overwatch as well. And we're now seeing kind of what VP want to play. It's hard to say. I don't think we're going to see this kind of slow poke style come in. But if you are playing Torb Sim, I actually don't think it's a bad thing, because Sigma can just play super slow. You can play with the Alari. You can just play for poke damage. And then you're pretty golden, because no one can kind of step up, especially if you've got like a cracked Alari player like Gala. So yeah, it's yet to be seen. I don't want to call it just yet, but maybe.
But you low-key did.
I low-key did, exactly.
Well, someone who definitely did step up with his tiny little Torb legs was Jay-Woo. Not only on Torb, of course, he also played Pharah and you name it. What a talented young player. We were all so excited to see what Jay-Woo can do in this roster. And he's delivering, man. Week 1 was already so impressive. Such a debut performance.
Yeah.
So good. Absolutely so good. I think everybody looks at this player and was already very excited prior to seeing the first official matches come out of week number 1 of OWCS. And now you take a look at Jay-Woo, and what can't this player do? Pharah, Echo, Torbjorn, Genji, like Tracer, you name it. I feel like Virtus.pro are so well set up for success when you look at just the flexibility of this player alone, in tandem with the fact that Shockwave is one of the best hit scans, and also projectile DPS, flex DPS, whatever you want to call it. Shockwave can also play basically everything.
Jay-Woo is a very promising player, and it was talked about at the very first week, like how Jay-Woo might be the next like god tier, like Korean Tracer, like flex player. A lot of DPS players that are like making their come up now are just kind of masters of all. You can't be like, oh, I only play projectile, like, oh, I only play hit scan. If you want to be valued super highly, you can pretty much play everything. I wouldn't, obviously on the team right now with Shockwave, you're not going to see him on Ashe. You're not really going to see him on like super long range hit scan, but like there's no doubt that he could probably play that at a high level. Look, he's played on teams like O2 Blast Academy, like Poker Face, the 4th best team in Asia. Like, dude, he's such a beast. Like, I'm super excited for his future.
I mean, I'm excited for this entire team's future. You talk about the versatility from him, but you can literally say the same thing about every single player. Frontline, backline, you name it. We actually have someone from the backline joining us now for a quick chat. It's going to be Gala, of course, as we're having a Spanish kind of day, I guess. Gala, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the dub. You guys made that look easy. Let's talk a little bit about the comps we got to see. We saw both Fixa and you playing Iliari. Worked really well on Nepal, so much so that it actually prompted a ban from Sakura on Esperanca. I don't think any of us expected it. Was that a spontaneous decision? How does Iliari fit into the perceived meta? What's her usage case? Like, run us through this.
Well, no one knows right now what to play the best hero, so basically we are testing stuff still, and we are figuring it out. That is really good with Iliari and Bab as well, and we're testing and it's working really great.
I mean, that's the best time for you guys, because it's like the meta's in flux, we can just test whatever and we're still succeeding. You guys are 3-0. We were saying just a minute ago, maybe at the top of the series, like, hey, you guys could hit the perfect stage. Do you guys think you can go just streak through this whole thing, go 7-0?
I think so, and we should. Like, we're really good. We're a really good team, good players, and I think we work really well together.
What's the communication like? You do have a Jay-Woo on your roster, so how is the communication been to make sure that all of the team plays are coordinated?
Communication is not an issue. I think both their English are really good, especially Fixa. And if you have to come something to him, Fixa can do that in Korean, and no problem at all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks smooth, man. You guys look coordinated. Everyone seems to be on the same page. And you guys figuring out the meta is so much fun for us to watch. Gala, thank you so much for joining us. And best of luck in all your future matches.
Thank you. Goodbye.